Hey there, thanks for checking out my videos here on YouTube. I do greatly appreciate it. I thought I'd go over my Outlander real quick and kind of give you an idea of what I do prior to sending a vehicle out. So this is just one of the components. Again, if you could subscribe, that would be great. And these are just quick little videos. So again, it's just kind of give you an idea as a first-time host of what I do and kind of where we go from that. So let's take a little look. So in Southern Ontario, we get a lot of road salt and winter as far as that's concerned. So just so you're aware of it, and this is December that we're sending the vehicle out. So I like to check the oil. Now we're not going to pull the dipstick here, I've already done that. I like to check and make sure the windshield washer fluid is topped up, and it is, so no issues there. I like to check the coolant level, and it is cold right now, so it is right down just at that cold line, so it's perfect, no issues there. I like to check the battery connections, make sure everything is solid, everything is good from that standpoint, it's all decent. Then I like to look for anything that might be odd. So I'm looking for things like a belt that's bad, the serpentine belt's fairly new. This vehicle's been oiled, so it's got what that looks like a patina of dirt, but that's actually like a wax. And again, I go to essentially an Amish farm who oils cars, and they put this wonderful coating on that goes everywhere, and it is nice and thick, but that's because I'm in Southern Ontario. So again, we're just looking for little items that might be a problem. I've already checked the lights, turning signals, high beams, low beams, brake lights, marker lights all work, so we've already done that. I've already done the 72 photos, and I've already posted those on Turo, and the guest has already got that. We've got the lockbox off to the side. So that's for a pointless pickup. Not pointless, but you get the idea. So I've got an emergency kit because we're in Southern Ontario, so there's a little blanket in there, some Band-Aids, some other gear just in the event of a problem. I also include my CAA membership as well, so if they need to get towed or they lock the keys in the car, do something weird, they've got that. A fresh snow brush. I find these go missing, so that's pretty normal from that standpoint. I put in a bottle of windshield washer fluid, so there's no excuse to run it dry. And if you're going on a bit of a road trip, sometimes what you'll find here, these will be as high as $9 at a gas station or convenience store, whereas I can pick them up at I think the grocery store, I think this was $3.50 or $4, so it's a pretty easy expense. I put in a couple rags just in case. I put the third row up, so that's already set up because it can be a bit of an annoyance if you've got the kids and everything you're hauling out. It goes down easily, so it's not that big of a concern. Again, earlier I checked to make sure the marker lights, brake lights, backup lights all function. No issues there. Check the tire pressure on the snow tires. They're good. Okay, and on the inside, what I like to do is I do a little juicy fruit, throw a little gum in there. It's not, the client can open it. Something to kind of just say thank you. I know it's ridiculous, but it's one of those little things I like to do. I've got a little thing of wet wipes in the console just in case. Kleenexes are in the armrest along with a standard plug for a cell phone. I find most of my clients are using, strangely enough, Android. So I don't get a lot of people asking for iPhone cables. Glove box, just the manuals. Nothing there. Paperwork. So again, we've had discussions about this in the past. So what I like to include is the Turo car sharing agreement. I like to put the motor vehicle liability insurance card from Turo in there. I do the motor vehicle liability info card from the US because this gentleman's going to do a little cross-border shopping. I do the copy of the Ontario vehicle permit because he's going to go over the border. A copy of the Canadian Interprovincial Insurance Card, which is my personal policy, again, because he's going over the border. Sometimes they they can get confused on what is a Turo policy. And a lot of times the folks at the desk will just go, okay, as long as there's a number they can put down, they don't care. A CA membership, which is good for Canada and the US. The reason I do that is, number one, when you go through Turo's 1-800 number down here, it can be a bit problematic with timing. And sometimes it's not an issue that is required for Turo. Sometimes it's something ridiculous like a flat tire or a locking the keys in the car. It's pretty common. So, or running out of gas. So that's where, at the very least, CA will come out really quick. I've always found them to be very good. Again, customer support number down below, along with their roadside assistance. And then I put my number down just in case. And then on the inside, again, it's all copies, everything that's needed, everything that's listed on the envelope. So again, very simple, very simple. And that's basically what I do to get the vehicle up and running for Turo. So again, check the oil, check the coolant. I did check the transmission as well earlier, so that's fine. By that I mean there's a dipstick, which is nice on the Outlander product because it's an older design. It's a 6-speed, not a CVT. It's not sealed, so I can actually check the fluids, which is great. Check the battery connections, make sure the windshield washer fluid is topped up, checked all the bulbs, checked all the lights to make sure they were all good, which they are. I did about 70 shots, sent off to the client, so things like front, side, rear. I do the quarter panels as well, the interior, everything that basically Turo asks for I do. Pretty straightforward from that standpoint. And then I give it a full tank of gas, and then I go for a little run around the block just to make sure there's anything quirky that I may have missed. And that kind of gives an overview. Vehicle's already been washed down, so the interior's already clean. Really, I do that in winter. I keep a little rag down on the mat down below to keep the kind of clean. So really, I can do a turnover with a client within about an hour, if pushed. And I've had a couple situations where someone's had their car go in the ditch, the tow driver is prepared to drop them off, and literally I get a 30-minute or a 40-minute notice saying, hey, we'd like to rent your car. And because I do that already and everything's ready to go, I can do that. I can do a key handover real quick. I've picked up a couple really good rentals off that, because if I can get into a it sounds like I'm chasing ambulances. It's not meant to sound like that. But if I get into a situation where someone's put their car in the ditch, then it goes to a body shop. Because the way in which parts supplies are now, I can almost guarantee I'm going to have this out for 2 weeks. And it's an insurance placement, so there's no real debate about price, so that it's not an issue from that standpoint. So traditionally, it's a pretty good little setup from that standpoint. So having your Turo vehicle ready to go, especially in a bit of a rural environment, within an hour, is probably a good option. So again, I do apologize for the camera, and it's kind of shaky. Again, I'm just using a Google Pixel phone, nothing expensive. If you subscribe and if you put a little thumbs up, maybe someday I'll invest in a proper little GoPro and a proper little lapel mic. Until then, you get the fancy phone. Okay? Thank you very much. Have a pleasant and enjoyable day.